So I am the general manager of King's Dominion. My name's Chad, or Gary Chadwick is the full name, but I've gone by the, nickname Chad for a long time, many years. Started a long time ago when I was in school. I moved to a new town and everybody had to have a nickname. It was the thing to do. So I was given Chad as my nickname. And that came with me when I came over here.
That's great. So why don't you give us a little bit of background on yourself? So where you grew up, how you got into coasters, and just that whole industry.
It was kind of an accident. I grew up in England. I moved over here, came over in the summer of a few years ago when I was in school, and I was studying business, and I came over just for something different to do for the summer. So this was a great opportunity. Funny story, I was actually offered a job both here and Busch Gardens Williamsburg on the same day when I went to a job fair in London, and I didn't want to possibly end up wearing a lederhosen because I didn't know a whole lot about the parks, so that was my decision-making factor when I was young and naive, I guess. But that was how I ended up at King's Dominion for one summer, and then I just kept coming back, and then finally moved over here permanently.
That's awesome. Didn't want to wear lederhosen.
Yeah, that was the start. It's a beautiful park. It's got more than anybody ever imagines or knows about. The kids area is huge. We have so many rides. We have 14 acres, in fact. There's my PR statement. Of kids rides, as well as 2 huge wave pools, enormous water park, 60 rides, 13 coasters, and there's so much fun, and it's beautiful. It's in Virginia, and it made me leave England, so it's one of the things that I can say was convincing and amazing enough for somebody to move across the world. I think King's Dominion's layout, International Street, the Eiffel Tower, obviously we have some similarities with some of our sister parks, but we have a lot of unique features that make it about Virginia and the region, and all of the rides that have started here and the concepts, and we've been the first for many things. So we've kind of been an industry leader in many ways, and the team here, the people, it's always about the people, and the team was really what made it different and special for me. There's lifelong friends and relationships that you really truly enjoy, and every day you want to go to work and see these people, and then the guests just add on to that to be the fun, great area that we have. It's a very, very cool community. So I came back here I was actually here for 5 years originally, full-time, and I went to Carowinds for 7 years and then came back a year ago. So my experience has been, I guess this is my return experience, and it's better than ever. I never actually imagined that, 10 years ago I fell in love with the place, or 12 years ago, and now I'm the general manager. So it's a dream come true, as well as very, very challenging. I've said the statement, fun isn't always easy. If it was, then everybody would do it. So I think that that's part of what keeps us going every day, is that it is fun, but it's challenging and there's always something new. And King's Dominion has such a variety of attractions and things that you can enjoy, that there's always something great to have on your daily routine.
So how would you say King's Dominion goes about trying to please your average guest versus your season pass holders?
So the simple answer, I would say, and Caitlin and all the rest of the team are like, yeah, he says this all the time, but the key is to provide smiles, right? So we're about providing smiles in whatever way that is. Whether you're a season pass holder, a one-day visit, a group sales client, or whatever means you come to this park, you got to have a good time. So we got to make sure that we have enough of a variety of attractions for different demographics, different age groups, enough to visit more than once so you don't get bored. You just have to have a selection and keep changing it up and remind people. I think people forget how many rides we've got because they don't necessarily come to work every day like we do and see them and experience them. So it's just keeping that fresh and having fun times and making the park keeping the park beautiful. Well, it's attention to detail. So one guest might see one thing one time, and that's enough for them to make a decision as to whether they like it, whether they love it, whether they would recommend it. So for me, every detail is just as important. So it's not, this doesn't matter or that doesn't matter. It all matters, because it's all influencing somebody else's view and opinion. I talk a lot in our training sessions and classes about, one guest might ask one associate one time where the restroom is, and that associate may be asked 1,000 times in one day. Well, they have to treat each one like it's a unique experience, and it's a simple question, but that person needs to get a pleasant, nice answer with correct directions and a smile. So it's about making sure that you realize every interaction and everything that you experience is unique every time. Well, I do have a bit of a passion, for technology and cool new things, and people will say I have a new gadget every day in my own personal life, but that's part of me keeping up with what's current, what's trendy, what's popular, what people are experiencing, and then using that and how do we apply it? How can we apply it to many guests in a big way every single day? So it's just keeping up with it and being aware of what's out there, making sure that when you do it right, rather than just testing stuff, and it can be a disappointment. We want to provide positive experiences, not negative experiences. So you can be innovative, but you can upset people in the meantime. So we make sure that when we do it right. I want them to leave with a good impression. And I know that sounds cliche and basic, but I'm serious about the smiles. If they're leaving with a smile on their face, then we've done enough right for them to leave with a positive experience, and that's what it's about. We invite them to visit the park just as we would guests in our own home. We try to keep it clean, we try to give them a great experience, we try to have fun, we try to make them want to come back, and then as long as they leave with a smile and they get in the car, you don't want them getting in the car and talking bad about the family and around the table, as you would at home. You want them to leave and say, it was a really good day. We had a great experience, a great time. We want to do this every year, every month, every week, whatever it is. They have to feel as though they were happy to have paid the money that they paid. So you're definitely correct. It's a big park and it's a big team. So it's over 3,000 employees that we have at the peak of the summer. And it goes back to the details. And it goes back to the happiness, because those smiles and the enjoyment are not just for the guests, it's for the associates. They have to want to be here, they have to want to come back every week, and even years. We have a lot of people, even in seasonal positions, that will come back every year. And they are the difference between a good park and a great park. And that's absolutely how I feel about it. You got to take care of them, you got to make it fun, you got to, of course, the safety and is the priority, and everyone needs to know that. But I coin a phrase, or I use a phrase, serious fun, a lot. And that is the safety mixed with the fun, and making sure that you can get both out of every experience every day. So, you're not always going to make everybody happy, and we know that, but what can we do to make ourselves better after every experience that we get is really what we look for, and what I try to encourage the team to look for. So I used to run, when I was at Carowinds, I ran the Halloween event. I was the guy, I named myself Director of Death as part of the fun of enjoying that position. But one of the things that taught me, and I got to learn and develop, was the importance of having an event, and again, doing it right, but making it enough of a draw that you can have all these amazing coasters and experiences and everything else, but that you choose the time that you want to come because you get this other stuff. So it's layering on the quality on what you're already offering. So then you take a matrix and you say, okay, I've got a food event, I've got a scary event, I've got a kids event, I've got a water park event. You've got to look at all these things, and then how are they spaced out, and can everyone get to enjoy them as well as get a different experience every time. So kind of goes with the seasons. You've got spring, summer, fall, and then we try to make sure that we've got something for everybody in each of those areas. So there is a strategy behind it, and they will keep getting better. I definitely believe in having great events and making them greater. You don't win on the first year, you start on the first year. So that's we'll continue to ramp up the ones that do well, and then we will replace and refresh and renew anything that doesn't seem to be giving the guests what they want.